All right, looks like we're doing the thing with the chicken wing. Wing, wing. Hello, everybody in the streaming world. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you as we do every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. This may be the only time that we're actually on time, which is a little weird for us.
We're a minute early, Tony. We are officially a minute early.
How dare we? How dare we be proficient at our podcasting jobs?
Everybody's alarm clocks are going to start going off at 10:15. They're going to join in and they're going to be like, whoa, these guys have already been going for a full minute. But don't worry, we haven't been talking about anything significant yet.
Nothing crazy yet. Anyways, we are the Podguyz Podcast. I am Tony Kaz. Kevin
Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso. Straight from NASCAR this weekend. The adventurer of all things automobile. The creator of the slick wheel.
Yeah.
And the creator of all things cars, of course, Le Sparky.
And Sparky is there with the letters H and I. He was hanging out of Pocono today with not only the ghost of Dale Earnhardt, but the ghost of Kyle Busch. He has the sixth sense, which is just somewhat fun. More fun at funerals than it is at weddings, I'm sure. For those of you that have never watched the show, or Mark, as our Foursquare is kind of new, Sparky draws in detailed depictions of what has been going on throughout the week or what we are talking about here on the show. Okay. Your eyes will be amazed at the details into the big board right there. So keep your eye on Sparky's big board.
The colors, the letters, everything will be in excellent true color fashion.
He drew a car the one time. All four wheels were on the two doors. You know the thing, right?
Two wheels were on it.
All right. Well, we could imagine that the other two wheels were kind of on the other side. But Tony, we have the Foursquare.
We do. Fresh from his stint in South Africa, a little north of Johannesburg, in South Africa. Of course, we are delighted to have Mark Biagio to our show.
Woo. Yeah.
Thank you for the applause. Sounds like a gig.
Could be. Now, of course, you're the main commander of the Fismits, correct?
Yeah, that's me.
Tell us about your start, sir. Tell us about your band. Tell us about how the music culture is.
Because every time I look it up on YouTube, the Misfits come up. Why is that? What the hell? Can't you guys beat the algorithm that way?
It's something that has frustrated me over the last couple of weeks with just looking up things and checking that all my music is in the relevant stores and things like that. And then it keeps auto-correcting. So I'm wondering if I need to send Google a letter. But
send the Misfits a letter. Just be like, hey, guys, we get it. You
hang it up already. How dare they encroach on your newfound love?
Come on. Like I came up with the name completely all by myself. I mean, really.
Is your band older than the Misfits, right?
No.
Oh my God! Well, then you got to change your name.
Not quite.
Yeah. No.
So tell us about your start, Mark.
So Fismits started 2016, somewhere there. Sort of born out of frustration of a whole bunch of other failed bands.
You sound very unsure, though. You're like, it was 2016.
2016. Well, the thing is, when you do as many interviews as I've been doing for the last while, you get programmed, right?
That's okay. That's why we're here. Mark.
Listen, we're not here to fact check you either. We're not going to be like, wait a second. No. According to this interview, you said
1927, Kevin. That's when it started.
1927. You do have the accent there. Is that a South African accent or is that English, Australian? Is that a
little twinge of German?
I would suggest it's probably 100% South African.
Nice.
I don't have the twang quite like you hear it in the movies, but I'm sure it's South African.
Have you been keeping up with the FIFA World Cup as a stereotype to South Africa?
Yes and no.
I knew it. I told Tony, I said, fucking, he's definitely watching the soccer. We're all forced to watch it over here. And no one in America likes soccer, all right?
Nobody.
We have listen, we have only posers over here right now. And by the way, everybody in the goddamn world, who are you rooting for, Mark? And your answer would be South Africa. What are you, a fucking idiot? Who are you rooting for? Guy from England? And the guy would say, England, of course. In America, we say, I don't know. I like Brazil because it's got a yellow jersey. What the fuck? We have no, as much as we like to talk about patriotism over here and tribalism or any ism or whatever, we have people here roaming around with different countries' jerseys on. And
Portugal,
I'm like, hey,
Spain.
why aren't you guys like supporting the American team? And they're like, well, if this is the answer that I get all the time. I swear to God. Oh, well, if America starts doing good, then I'll buy an American jersey. Go fuck yourself, man. Like, seriously, go fuck yourself. That is the worst. Like,
yeah.
That's like, and this is the mentality too. That's like your high school sweetheart. Oh, you hooked up with some Brazilian chick in college and you're dating her now. And the only way you'd get back with your high school American sweetheart is if she's doing a little bit better than you. Then you're going to try to chase that piece of tail. It's the dumbest logic of all. Mark, you're rooting for South Africa, though. Am I right?
I'm a bit disinterested in this World Cup because the team that I would usually support, because my surname is Italian, so my heritage is actually Italian, although I'm born and bred here in South Africa. I am an avid Italian soccer fan, and we didn't qualify, so I am completely disinterested.
How didn't Italy qualify? Now, by the way, Italy is known for not athleticism in the long run, okay?
And by the way, Italy, one of the founders of soccer, along with other bald sports.
I bet you in Italy right now it's very boring. They don't even know the World Cup's going on.
They probably got like special gloves for bocce ball right over there.
Yeah, they do.
There was that one woman, and she was a boxer or whatever, and she was a very short and pudgy. And then the person that went up against her with boxing, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a man. That's got to be a man." Dude, that's what an in-shape woman looks like when they're lifting all the time. Just because rigatoni girl over there looks like she's been fucking down in spaghetti and pushing over people the whole time. When she gets into a real fight, she's like, "I'm ready to fight." And then she fucking goes down in round 2 because she was too dumb to go down in round 1. And her big thing was like, "Oh, that didn't feel like a woman's punches." No, you know what? Don't even genderize it. That felt like the punches of someone who actually trained for this fight. How dare you? Now, the testosterone level of people changes when they're lifting and all that nice stuff. You would have to be actively inactive to keep your estrogen levels at little rigatoni girls levels, because holy shit, she just rolled in there out of shape, fucking stood up huffing and puffing like, I guess I'll get up. And they're like, I don't know. She's not really the favorite, but Italy is kind of rooting for her. Italy's good at kind of rooting for their female athletes because they don't really give a shit. They don't tell them like it's like they have a bunch of fucking mix over there training her, where they're like, oh, just chase the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And they do. And they catch it in a moment. They just sit there and they fatten them up. So Mark, your surname is Italian. Were you born in Italy? What was your draw and interest into music, and how many bands have you gotten in and out of, over or under 30?
Under 30.
Under 30? Okay, so over 15 then, right?
Huh?
How many bands have you been in?
Over 10. Over 10.
Probably 8 or 9.
8 or 9? Now, you've been in the music game for a long time, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. Was in the 90s. First band was called the Mind Theater.
Okay.
Then I joined a bunch of Italian rockers called 10 Drops of Valium.
10 Drops of Valium?
Yeah.
What kind of sound was that?
I was like sort of very it was almost gothic, sort of gothic rock in a way.
Better be gothic,
I was going to say a little slow.
Yeah,
they dodged the tism a little bit.
That was a very, very, very cool band. I enjoyed playing in that. My wife didn't enjoy me because they had a thing for tequila.
Oh God! I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna like name a much darker drug there. You know, like,
I was gonna say, man, they have a thing for Mexican women. Those
well,
Italians.
no, I mean like they're named 10 drops of Valium, and you're like, hey, I wonder what drug these guys like, and you're like tequila, and I'm like, I would never have guessed tequila. I would have guessed Valium because you know, like if somebody says like 9 shots of heroin, and be like, don't worry about them, they're a bunch of potheads.
Yeah.
Like, what? You sure? Sure they're just smoking pot? Because there's a lot of needles on the floor and no one's talking about their insulin levels. If you've talked to any diabetic, they always talk about their blood sugar and shit. It's practical social currency for them all around. That's all they got, man. That's all they got. But you're a healthy guy, Mark. How old are you?
50, nearly 55.
My God, you look great for 55. For Jesus Christ. I mean, you look probably what 45 looked like back in the 90s.
That's what good Johannesburg healthy living does.
Right?
Less smog. I don't know. Remember, yeah, I just
So
woke up.
do you happen to live in the suburban areas, or do you live in like a little more of the rural area of Johannesburg?
No, this is full on suburbia. This is city. Well,
Okay.
It's in the city kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, you get out to the country here a bit, but everything.
You're looking around a little bit like somebody's gonna come and
I'm
rape you in
thinking,
your
like-
sleep.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm thinking, I don't want to tell you guys, but you know, the lions and the elephants are not roaming the streets of Johannesburg.
That
We have
was
to
like the
travel
last
pretty
thing I
far.
could think of. What the hell?
I was not going there.
I like how you have like how Americans are assuming the stereotypes are of Johannesburg, and I was only assuming that it's kind of like the sound of music, but with a little bit less Nazis. You know, like they changed their name up and shit. And Johannesburg, you know, like we are watching you. You know, it's like okay, it's by the way, whenever lawmakers like to talk about how wonderful the world would be if only X, Y, and Z wasn't there. That's not an original idea, guys. It is.
Yeah, we do not watch Johannesburg. Johannesburg watches you.
Germany once got to the point where they were like, okay, brown hair's shitty. We all know that, right? It's like, what? Hold on, guys. But you have brown hair. I know. But we should make up people that don't have a brown hair. It's like, okay.
I think
all right.
it would be cooler if we all dyed it blonde.
Yeah. It's like I think you guys have officially gone too far. You know that it's
Bleaching the gene pool.
I think that would be alongside of the moments of when they went too far. You know, where you're like, hey, why are all those people working for free in that prison? And they're like, because they went bad. Okay, cool. So
You win.
what? Why does your guys' Coca-Cola taste like orange flavored something? It's better. Okay, all right. You just gotta show the.
It is high C.
Mark, who's your least favorite historical character? I mean, if you could name 3 where you're like,
I mean, it's okay to go with Hitler.
Yeah.
Least favorite.
Well, I think Mussolini didn't do a bad job of embarrassing himself a few times.
Mussolini, you
That's
know
a
what?
good one. That's
you
a
gotta
good
give
one.
the guy credit. He was a hell of a talker, and then they're like, all right, so you're gonna help us fight this fight now. He's like, I'll be right back.
I've got pasta on the stove. I'll be right there.
It's like him and Hitler had like a fucking rap battle of who could pump up a crowd more.
Yeah, but then when it came to the difficult decisions, he says, I'll phone my German friend or something. I'm sure.
Not a bad stall tactic.
It's true.
Not bad. It was better than what Poland had, where they had signs that said "Welcome," and you're like, man, that is such a Polish thing to do. What the fuck are you guys doing? Welcome. This is why Poland. This is why Lithuania exists, because they piled up at the top of the mountain there, right? And Poland's like, hey, you're still a part of us, right? And they're like, no. And they're like, well, we're gonna do something about this, right? They're like, no, you're not. They're like, oh, okay, all right. I know that's a real brief run through of how many times Poland has just been. There's Polish jokes out there. What's your favorite Polish joke, Mark?
Jeez, I wouldn't know.
I'll give you a Polish joke, okay? America, we built a rocket one day to go to the moon, and we did, right? So Poland decided to build a bigger rocket, more bells, more whistles than America. America goes over to Poland. They said, hey, Poland, what are you doing with this rocket? It's a beautiful rocket, so big, more bells, more whistles. Where are you guys going? We've already gone to the moon. Where are you headed with this? And Poland said, we're going to the sun. And they said, Poland, you can't go to the sun. You'll burn up before you get there. And Poland said, but that's why we're traveling at night.
And all the Polish people just disconnected, is that?
Yeah, good.
No, they didn't. That was it. All right, good. Good night, Poland.
Mark, they did not disconnect because it would take actual reading, incentivize. You know, they're still having. Hey, Poland, I know you're still there. Okay, it's the button on your.
Pull the plug on your computer.
It's the X button. All right, it's the X button right there. You're gonna just you'll figure it out. Just throw the computer on the floor once you're fucking done with it and stuff your face full of pierogies, you fat sloppy motherfuckers. Anyways, not trying to get racially insensitive about the intelligence level of the
you're gonna
Polish.
get Polish canceled, Kevin.
Man, we are not allowed in Poland right now. I guarantee it. But that's all true. Right. We are looking for a more intelligent audience than the Polish right now. And I'm not talking about Polish Americans where you're like, my great-great-grandfather was Polish. And I'm like, all right, that makes you American still. You are still here. He came from over there. Welcome to the fucking world. Mark, do you feel like people take too much pride of where their ancestors came from and then they apply it to their own character and behavior of today?
I think so, to a degree. I think
nice.
It's a valid statement. I think definitely. I think in South Africa, that's a real thing. Because
it's got to be, right? I mean, because South Africa, it's there's a lot of people in South Africa, probably from your experience as well, that don't look like they originated in South Africa, right?
Yeah. So you've got this people have to. Well, I don't know. There's this disconnect. They
say it like it is, Mark. Yeah, just go for it.
No one's gonna hurt
you.
I'm
trying to find the words. You can see I'm unread.
A melting pot.
There's a certain culture that gets put on being African and being from Africa and everything. I mean, we were imported in the early 1900s. I mean, it's factual. That's why my ancestors arrived here on a ship. But I was born here, so I have to adopt what I believe is South African. But it does, it doesn't look as glamorous as the brand of Africa, So there is this conflict. You see it at schools when they have Heritage Day or something like that, and you get, everybody can go in their traditional dresses and things like that. So you This weird, some guys will be wearing football shirts.
So wait a second. Do English kids go to South Africa for Heritage Day with just like a gun on the fucking sack and be like, hey? No, this is
not so much, but some of them will have that.
They got chains lapped around their shoulder. They're just like, I was from slavery, son.
Right?
Not that far, but they'll grab the Afrikaans guys. Well, some of them might wear their sort of what they call their boere kind of look kind of thing that they would have done in the old in the 1900s when they were sort of breaking free from the British. You've got my son will probably wear his Italian shirt, because he kind
of. So I guess the major question is, Mark, is the culture down there is very diverse. It's a very diverse melting pot of African, British, French culture. Would you say a little more Spanish? Would you say
more Portuguese?
More Portuguese?
Mark, okay. I'm checking out your website, and who the fuck did this? I don't get it. I don't get any of this. You got a really nice picture here, Mark Biagio. I mean, it's backwards right now on the screen, but nice picture there. You're sitting there in the chair. I could see it. And then immediately underneath is a guy playing guitar. Might be you, might not be you. There's a lot of hair in the face. And then it starts off by saying, at its base, it's all my uncle's fault. Keith, I would arrive to visit my grandmother, and the house would be shaking with the sound of hard 70s rock. The fuck introduction is that, man? You guys got to get ChatGPT on this stuff because I'm confused. First, I don't know. I know that one's you right there with the blue shirt looking, swift there. And then we're going right to a black and white. There is absolutely no transition point in this. The louder, the better, as health and safety was not a thing back then. I was allowed to spend countless hours in this cacophony, I guess.
Cacophony. Yeah.
Cacophony. What is a cacophony?
It's everything, all what we would say in South Africa, merged into one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So just a kid looking at the albums. Mark, you're let me see here. You said you're 55 years old, so I'm guessing a big Bob Dylan fan or no?
No.
Really. Okay. So let's take you from 55. So I'm guessing REO Speedwagon, Alice Cooper, or something like that.
Alice Cooper would be getting closer.
Great. So how about this? You tell me then. What were your influences then? What were your big music? What did you listen to where it hit you one day and it doesn't matter what the song was, but it hit you and you're like, whoa, next song, we got to keep going with this. What was the big one?
That would have been The Clash.
The Clash were great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I only discovered The Clash late 80s. Not late 80s, mid 80s, sort of 87, 86. But that was the band that stopped me in my tracks.
I could have seen you as more of a Ramones guy.
I don't know. I like the British punk side more so than the Ramones.
Was it the song London Calling, or was it which song?
No, it was something off the first album. I think it was Prisoner.
Prisoner, okay.
Yeah.
That's way back.
Well, our first album, let's say The Clash's first album, which you got as the second album in America. I'm a big Clash fan.
I mean, there's big artists like...
I must go and see that website that you're looking at. That looks like my radio presenter days picture.
It's Rebel Rock Radio.
Oh, yes.
The heart of good music.
Yes.
I wonder what its liver's like, because this ain't fucking right. This obviously isn't you. Tuesdays, are you doing radio right now or no?
No, I haven't done radio for about a year.
This has got to be a little older than the Crooked Beat.
Yes.
The Crooked Beat by Mark Biagio. Tuesday, midday to 3 p.m. Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. What a fucking weird schedule they got you on there. That's like, hey, Mark, do you like sleep? Well, if you do like sleep, you can quit or do a little bit of, we'll call it value. So they got you, I'm guessing it's like a mini biography that they just took way out of context to introduce you. Man, how was working for this radio station?
It was good fun. It was a bunch of mates that we got together and did Rebel Rock Radio.
Oh, look at that. They got copyright 2026. I better not copy this shit. I'll be sued immediately. Dude, if I fucking copy this, my God. Now you got a good picture there though. They just kind of, botched it on the actual website because you could tell, like they have these things right up here, the little free things right here. Yeah. And as soon as you press it, it goes nowhere. It goes right to you. And that's the only spot right there. And then there's the go back button, which, by the way, just sends you back to the main page. Craziness, man. Crazy. So the Clash got you in. So the Clash kind of got you going immediately into the music. You're probably, what about when you were like a kid? Like that was, you're probably pretty young back then. You were probably 7 years old, right?
No, it was about 15, I think.
15.
That was when you listened to everything, and then all of a sudden something happened, and then you went left.
Current day with the band. How many people are in the band right now?
3. There's 3 of us.
You got 3. You got a good trio: drummer, bass, lead.
Yeah, that's it. So it's myself on guitar and vocals, Neil on bass, and Keegan on drums.
Nice. You're gonna keep it tight like that?
You know, getting 3 people into a band rehearsal room on a Saturday afternoon takes an enormous amount of effort. To add a fourth to that,
Crazy scheduling.
I mean, it's just because it's not only getting the 3 people, it's those 3 people have to organize their families and their lives and their schedules, and everybody's got a million things going on, and it is the hardest thing on the planet. It's just to keep a band together.
Now, you guys just had an EP that just came out as well, right?
It's coming out next Friday, 26th.
Yeah. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
So that was it's an EP called Falling Joy. And I'm going back in time a little bit on this one. When I was in my first band at university called the Mind Theatre, I was working the lead singer then and chief songwriter at the time, Bruce, wrote some really good songs. And that band kind of, although we were together 5 or 6 years, we never ever got to release the songs, a lot of the songs on, officially. So they stayed as demos. But a couple of the tracks I still played as Fismits, and some of my previous bands, I would bring some of those songs and we would play them. And so they've evolved over time. And I decided I had recorded the 1-track Scars and it was sounding really good. And then I did another track called When. And then I was like, well, let me just finish this and put a couple of more of Bruce's songs and reinterpret them for 2026. But then it was last year, so 2025. And let's put them on the map and sort of close that chapter. So yeah, the 5 songs on the EP, all originally written by Bruce, and then I've had to just sort of bring them into what I call Fismitize them, just put my stamp on them and do them my way. And it's quite excited. It's been...
So those 5 track listings are called When, Independence, Scars, Falling Joy, and Too Small a Word.
Yes, that's it.
That's really exciting, man. Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And that's
Too
a
small a
lot of
word.
hard work.
Too small a word. That's very... How does that go? What word was too small?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry is too small a word? Okay, that makes sense then. Not a lot of letters going on there. The one's a repeating letter.
Well, it is the oldest song in your EP. But it was life as a bold classic rock leaning composition with grand ambitions. For Falling Joy, the Fismits deliberately subvert that original vision, reworking the track into something darker, more restrained, and emotionally raw. Eschewing polish in favor of honesty. The vocal performance and stripped back arrangement bring a sense of vulnerability that closes the EP with depth and conviction.
Mark, it says you were arrested here in Johannesburg for assault and battery.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, no, never mind. That was Mark Biagio. Okay, never mind. That's a different one. Sorry, Google. Yeah. That was the Polish Mark. God damn it. At least you know you'd be doing if you were Polish, just assaulting people.
He always rears his ugly head, that Mark Bielozolewski.
Now, do you speak more than just English? What's your native tongue there? You go English, you got Italian, you got anything going?
No, I don't speak Italian other than a few choice swear words.
I
speak Afrikaans. That's our second language.
What is it called?
Afrikaans.
Oh, come on. They got to be making. They didn't even put any effort into that one.
Afrikaans.
Like it reminds me of the old Italian guy is trying to get all the names of the countries together, right? So he rows up to Ireland, right? And he screams, just the first guy he sees, he says, because he doesn't want to get out of the boat. and all that nice crap. And he's been getting in and out. So he just screams and he says, "Hey, what do you call your island over there?" And the Irish guy couldn't hear him. So he says, "Ireland?" Writes it down. Why would they fucking call why would they call why would they call the language Afrikaan? That's fucking lazy. They need to call it something else. Spain doesn't call their language Europe. Like, what the fuck? It's a continent. They can't. South Africa, even less creative, because no shit, it's South Africa. The whole thing's Africa, and you're way there at the bottom. Come up with a different name.
Well, I wouldn't know. We had to be there, right? You had to be there on the day they did that.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. I'd have to be.
Somebody needed to be there. I said, no, I think that's wrong.
Some guy's going to be like, I've named a lot of stuff, like the town of Mountaintop. I mean, I named it.
Yeah, but you must know that the politicians from the were running the country in the old days, I mean, were probably very much Hitleric, so nobody was going to argue with him when he said, "We will call it Afrikaans," and everybody said, "Yes, sir."
Okay, we can't just blame a single person, because South Africa was not named by a single person. Rather, the name was collaboratively chosen by colonial leaders in 1910. It is a purely geographical description adopted for when 4 separate territories, the Cape, Natal, Transversal, and Orange River colonies, united to form the Union of South Africa under the British Empire. So they didn't even care to give it a name. They're just like, fuck it, South Africa. Hey, what are they talking over there? They're probably talking African, or wait, let's call it Afrikaan. There you go. That's pretty messy. Beautiful, beautiful area, though. Beautiful area. My God. So where do you play in South Africa? There's huge venues then, right?
Yeah, there's everything from from pubs and clubs all the way to stadiums. Most people, when they come here, they'll play the soccer stadium. So
look at that. Everybody else gets a fucking name. Botswana. Nambia, that's a cool name. They don't just call it Northwest South Africa, It
was called Southwest Africa before they changed it to Namibia.
You even got Zimbabwe right up there. That's a fucking cool name, right? I don't know. I think they could do better. They could do better. Like we have a shitty acronym over here, USA, United States of America. Where's the O? You got to have the O there, right? It's a bad acronym if you don't have the whole thing there. Yeah. Have you ever been to America,
like,
Mark?
Yeah,
no?
yeah,
I have. In 2012, I had a Microsoft conference in Redmond that I attended.
Nice. And what state were you in?
What is it? They're next to Seattle's Washington, is it?
Seattle is in Washington. So you were right there in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Yep. If you go further, now Silicon Valley starts off with computers up top. And then when you get down towards the LA version, there's Sparky with the map right there. He's got it. Silicon Valley goes from Washington to Oregon. And then the Silicon goes from computers to tits. Okay. Goes right to the tits. Down towards the California area and Nevada, Sparky, right near, that's where computers, and then, see, he's got it right there. That's where the point of the tit goes right there. So that's why they call it Silicon Valley, because they use silicon components in the computers up top, and then down below, they use it for plastic surgery. Have you ever had plastic surgery, Mark, or know anybody that has?
No, actually, I don't.
Wow, I don't know any.
Not very proficient in South Africa. It's not a thing.
Yeah, people should just love themselves, I guess, right? Maybe they should just, unless they're like really, really bad off, then maybe improve yourself a little bit, right? Mark, what is the most irritating piece of music that you've ever listened to in your whole entire career, where if you heard it today or right now, you would say to yourself, "Ow, fuck this," or something to that degree?
There's lots.
Well, name one.
One example.
Any which one.
That's all we need.
There's there's a lot of South African Afrikaans music that drives me. There's some really good stuff, I have to say. There's really good stuff, but then there's other stuff that just drives me mad. There's songs like Roy Rock Bokkie, which would be translated as red dressed girl or red dress girl kind of thing, or girl in a red dress if you want. That drives me.
Yeah.
Because it's just cheesy. Well, it's just cheesy things that rhyme. They may as well be nursery rhyme type songs, but those songs just I will change station immediately.
No, that's something that is super big in South Africa as far as like
It's very popular.
always played on the radio.
Yeah, I mean that genre is fairly big. I mean, the guys are very loyal to their music, you know, because it's part of their culture and things like that. So they're very, very supportive. You're not going to hear it anywhere else in the world. That's what makes, as opposed to us guys that are playing rock and roll, it's kind of like we're competing with everybody, you know.
So do you feel like the rock and roll of not even to say of America, or from England, has been kind of lost in South Africa, in comparison to like the Afrikaans music?
I think, yeah, well, if I reinterpret, I wouldn't say it's, I think there have been some really good musicians and really good rock in South Africa that, yes, South African rock that has possibly been lost or forgotten, or because it's you know, you were not so much in the 80s when we were in isolation, you know, then we had sanctions against South Africa. So then the rock scene was forced to look after itself, and you know, because no groups were coming to this country and doing things like that. But the minute it opened up, then you know, we've still had some really good bands, but I think it does get overlooked. Whereas I think there is definitely, you know, when I was doing a lot of sound engineering, I mean, I was doing all African jazz and that sort of stuff. And I mean, there is nothing sounds like African jazz. And
Oh my God. Speaking of African jazz right here, we got breaking news right now from one of the most, I'm not going to say talented, but probably a good guy, right? Tony, this just in, and you posted it, so you should know it. Jelly Roll has filed for divorce from his wife, Bunny. Well, you know, they both, first of all, they both sound like porn cartoon character names, you know, like, and they kind of look like it too.
Bunny XO.
Yeah, they are both just really, they're getting divorced, and the comments is Jelly lost the belly and is ready to pull an R. Kelly, says Timothy Joshua. Are they?
See the fly. What's the?
Yep. Are they expecting twins? Oh, here you go. Toya Boynham says, now she free. He was a lot to deal with. One reply to that says, oh, for real? What's the tea? Says Melanie. And Tanya says, she dealt with him during his drinking and drug abuse. That alone is a lot to handle. Well, this is a pretty decent point. While trying to have her own career. Watch how happier she be. LOL. Esmeralda says, didn't he also cheat on her? I mean, I would probably say yeah, but Esmeralda, he sure did. She talks about it on her podcast, in her book, but the question is, why now? She forgave him and they moved on. That's not a bad question. Why would they get a divorce now? Maybe because life's too fucking short. All right. You're both looking like cartoon bastards. You probably both did drugs together in a violent way. Jelly Roll was inserted into the music scene by corporations that needed somebody to take both the role of Post Malone and Fat Joe, you know, and to throw a positive spin on his drug addiction, autistic ways, or whatever the fuck stamp they want to pop on him for whatever is hashtag trending. And now he's got himself a good old-fashioned divorce, Tony. What do you think?
Well, according to TMZ has officially told Sources that the divorce was a mutual decision by the two in a private family matter. Jelly Rip met Bunny in 2015 before he hit it big, but things didn't turn romantic until the following year, 2016, where he automatically said, hey, let's get a ring on that thing because we're going to do it like old dirty dogs.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Bunny, who was previously a sex worker. Go figure.
Wow.
She was in the sex industry.
Well, with a name like
she
Bunny.
used to do videos. Yeah, she did a lot of videos. She decided to quit the industry in 2023, 7 years later in their marriage.
So I bet you if she like
7
7 years.
7 years of her taking a lot of dick.
Yep. Yeah,
a lot.
She probably, she's probably like, oh no, Mr. Roll. How dare you? I was punched in. Hi. I was on the clock. Cock clock.
The cock clock.
You, though, you went to the strip club and one of my friends saw you making out with a woman. Maybe 2 women.
Yeah.
That's cheating. I'm going to write a book about it. And it won't be a pop-up book either, so no one's going to buy it.
Yeah. And in that 1 year, on top of the drama that circulated the of course the wedding itself, 1 week before the wedding, Jelly Roll welcomed a son with another woman.
Oh, really? What did he name him?
Yeah.
Donut Hole? Like, what the fuck? What kind of bullshit name did he give his son? I'm gonna name my kid something ultimately never successful. Cody. Good for you, Jelly Roll. Make sure he's unemployed for a long time.
Yeah. The couple has had a rocky relationship and has even been open about the ups and downs, revealing that they split multiple times in the past. But of course, they tried to work on their nuptials together. But unfortunately, to no avail.
Tony, I got something here that made me laugh like I've never laughed in a while. But first, off to Sparky's big board there. Sparky, flip that big board around. It says, now Bunny Blue can get jelly in her belly. Too late. Sorry.
You are not the father.
You are not the father. My God.
By the way, excellent artwork, Sparky.
Yeah, they could tell that kid wasn't Jelly Rolls because he's not already high on dope.
You know when times are tough, right? Now, I don't know if this happens in South Africa, Mark, but there is locally, there was a 14-year-old boy that was taken into custody in connection with an armed robbery of a lemonade stand here locally.
Yeah, it says a 14-year-old boy has been taken into custody in connection with the armed robbery of a kid's lemonade stand in Boston. The kids, meanwhile, are back in business after their community rallied around them. And when I say community, you know what I mean. Indians. I like it how the game of cops and robbers has progressed into just robbers and convenience store stands run by children, yeah, Tony, now where did this 14-year-old get a gun? Or was he just using finger gun?
I don't know if it was
I like how Boston police were fucking really on top of this whole idea right here. Boston they got a 14-year-old boy that robbed a lemonade stand. Hey, by the way,
he was down by the harbor.
Well, David Burney, 12 years old, was operating a lemonade stand with his little sister when they were approached by 2 people. He told WBZ in Boston, according to David and police investigators, because when a lemonade stand gets robbed at gunpoint by another child, you're going to need more than one investigator on this one.
You're going to need a multiple squad of police officers.
You're going to need like 3 ambulances, 5 fire trucks, and the whole fleet. Bring the crew down. According to
the whole
David,
harbor crew.
The 2 suspects are allegedly passed by the stand several times before stopping to ask if the kids accepted Apple Pay. Casual, right? Nothing to see here. Just two guys talking to kids if they accept Apple Pay. Before either of the kids could respond, one of the suspects allegedly grabbed their cash box while the other threatened the kids. I'm throwing this out here, Tony. I would suspect this is just a one-man job, but
where's the parental supervision in this?
I wanted this to
Where
have
you
like
have an 11 and 12-year-old doing lemonade outside your house, and you're not watching them?
You're watching them get robbed. You're like, man, those kids
You're watching them get robbed, is right.
You're like, wow, those kids are tough over there robbing them. They probably, those fucking, the children.
Hey, the World Cup is on. I'll be inside while you guys are doing lemonade. Go! Dad, we got robbed again. No!
He walked over and he said he might need to take the box. He grabbed it with one hand and then he showed us the gun, which was right here, David said to WBZ, pointing down to his waist. My sister, she put her hands up and said, you can have it. So isn't that great? Isn't that just like a woman telling everybody they can just have all the money just because they asked for it? Boy, she's right. She's fallen right into that timeline. David said he complied at the time, but later felt a little annoyed by the incident. After that, I was just a little annoyed because we were 12 and 11 and you shouldn't really do that. His father, David, agreed. I'm happy that his father agreed, but I'd be even happier if his father disagreed and said, no, everybody should be stealing from these children. They're a bunch of idiots. They're outside. They got money. You got a gun.
They have $20 in lemonade money.
It's outrageous that in such a good community, by the way, you are not living in a good community if people are trying to steal your children's lemonade stand money.
With guns.
So get your head the fuck out of your ass on that one, sir. In such a good community. Sir, this is officially a shit community. Move, you dumb bat. Okay.
Sir, David, it is a shit show out there. You should probably get out of the ghetto.
This is a scummy. This is even a much more waste of action right here. I think we need some more cops on the beat around here. Fuck you, man. What kind of punishment is that to the cop? What are you doing? Oh, I'm walking the beat. So that way no more lemonade stands get fucking robbed by just showing a kid a gun. Both perpetrators were captured on surveillance footage, prompting investigators to ask for the community's help in identifying them. So the community gave a shit enough to identify. Do they even know these people? So it's unclear if community assistance led to the arrest of a suspect in the case. Boston police.
So 1 out of 2.
Yeah.
1 out of 2 were arrested.
Yep.
And he said, I ain't no snitch. I'm not giving you the other guy.
That's a good friend right there.
That is a good friend right there.
Yeah.
Ride
so,
or die.
The cops are probably going to try to make their own lemonade sting operation thing, just in the fucking sloppiest way possible. Where
Mark, Mark, is that something that they do in South Africa?
What? Steal lemonade?
Where they would the little kids would make a lemonade stand, or they would make an iced tea stand or something. What would be the national drink of South Africa?
What would they have in the store? No, well, we've got lots of stands. Everybody.
Well,
sells
apparently they're just called stores in South Africa.
No, we've got you could buy anything at a traffic light, at any street corner, whether it's food or somebody selling some Chinese stuff for your cell phone, whatever the case may be. So this is
a nice conclusion to the story, Mark. As for David and his sister, they were back a few days later on the same block with a new and improved lemonade stand. Why? What, did their lemonade stand come with a bulletproof fucking glass? Because
it came with bulletproof glass and microphones and cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Have it be like a fucking Sunoco station,
Brought to you by the NSA.
But Tony, that was not the funniest thing that made me laugh my ass off. I can promise you right now that was definitely not it. This is it, and I'm gonna play it for you as best as I can on the phone. It's going to be, this is, by the way, this was a public service announcement. Okay.
Wait, is it Oliver Tree dying in a helicopter crash?
No. You're going to want to stay tuned for this, though. This was a public service announcement, Tony. All right.
You know what? We
service
tend to
announcement.
do those from time to time here on the Podguyz Podcast.
Well, this was a commercialized one that caught a lot of traction and sent a really good message. But the way that they sent the message was in the most vulgar way possible.
No.
So here we go. I'm going to get as much volume up as possible on it, and I'm going to try to get the visual up there too.
By the way, Mark, welcome to America. Oh my God, man. That is the worst volume thing that I've ever heard in my life.
You wouldn't get away with it here. You shouldn't get away with it at home.
That was horrible. I couldn't hear half of it.
Okay, so she says, she starts spilling his coffee, and he says, "You spilled my coffee. You spilled my coffee." And then she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I spilled your coffee." Right? And he says, spilled my coffee. So then he throws her over and spills the coffee all over her and starts beating the shit out of her. Right? It is an anti-domestic violence ad. Okay, Mark?
Ooh.
But, Tony, the comments are just fucking priceless. Not Dustin Chaz puts down in the comments, and this was one of my favorites. He says, "This is how it feels to chew 5 gum."
True.
Night French said, "Well, she shouldn't have spilled his coffee." A lot of people were asking, is this a Mentos commercial?
Mentos freshness, Mentos freshness.
Toucan Sam put down, "I bet she won't spill the coffee ever again."
Ever. Never again.
Yeah. Wait. The comment section's going. Wait, Waffle House training videos getting wild sometimes.
Sparky did put in 5 steps to you know who.
I mean, have you just tried not spilling the coffee?
That's like a UFC fight at the White House.
Polish Honda Dirt 87 says, "What the fuck is this, Denny's?"
That's more like the Waffle House. That'd be perfect.
Steve O 240 says, "Surprisingly, a dishwasher can pour coffee." Wait. Nice guy Coffee says, "Imagine trusting a woman to handle hot liquid near children. Constant supervision."
Mark, do you guys have a place? Do you guys have a place in South Africa?
Yeah, the big bald Woski says the kids knew she fucked up. Because the kids are looking, while she's getting beat the shit out of in this commercial thing, the kids are looking like they don't care. They don't give a
lady,
shit
you deserve it. You got this is all deserving.
Are they? Wait, why didn't he hit the kids too for good?
There you go. There you go.
Marky Marcus 18 says, "God forbid a man holds a woman accountable." I'm sorry, Tony. This thing had me totally cracking up here. Because, I mean, okay, here we go. The fact that the kids really didn't bat an eye, he raised them right. Oh, my God.
Touche, sir. Touche.
My God.
Mark, has South Africa been more institutionalized in American culture than its own culture? And if it has, how much American culture has reached South Africa?
I think there was a trend in the 90s where It was an adoption of American culture. I think just because, I don't know. But then lately there's been pushback to adopt more of the South African culture. So the same people that were, taking a lot more American type stuff of now trying to. So you can see it in the music trends, in the 90s and all that. There was a big surge of American sort of music, and we're now pushing, especially in the African space, a lot more traditional music and things like that are coming up. So I think it's back in balance again.
So I guess my question is, what came from America that was super big in South Africa that you were a little more surprised about?
I don't know.
I know, but he has difficult questions here, Mark. Very difficult.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about it. I mean, the thing is, America sneezes and we get a cold. That's, so you guys you're a powerhouse. So everybody's looking to America. What astounds me is we still look to America, and I ask questions why, because some of your leaders are questionable. But that's my opinion. I'm like, when we did look to you and you had decent leaders and stuff like that, yes, then I could understand it. But now I'm like, no, guys. But
I don't think we've ever had a decent leader, to be honest with you. Politicians
it's been a while.
Politicians are universally hated. I mean,
yeah.
You've had better, slightly better, maybe.
I mean, I have yet to see any positive politician in my life, and I can give great examples of exactly how shitty of an idea they've actually had.
Maybe Jimmy Carter was the last of the presidents that just recently passed away.
Jimmy Carter replaced the Ayatollah in Iran, and the whole fucking Iran-Contra scandal happened after the fact from that. So, one asshole just leaded themselves into the next. I mean, at least right now, as of yesterday or today,
Bush, Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump.
Yeah, at least we got a UFC fight in front of the White House, so that's pretty cool.
Why not?
I mean,
we got bare knuckle boxing on the lawn.
I'm fine with that. They're like, just remember, that's everybody's house, not just his house. It's like, okay, cool. So
yeah, they had to evict the homeless people that were living on the South Lawn.
I don't mind a little bit of sports entertainment in front of the White House. I mean, what else are you going to be doing in front of the White House? Nothing, because you got a good front yard there, man. You might as well give people a free show or whatever. Do something besides fucking nothing. And I didn't think it was a bad idea. I thought the invasion of Iran and bombing Iran's a bad idea, and killing the Ayatollah was probably a bad idea. But what the fuck do I know, really? I'm not a murderer. That's just my thing. I thought that the idea of fining people that couldn't afford health care from their taxes, then gouging their wages down to damn near poverty rate. But the idea of the gouging of wages wouldn't count towards your need of welfare was just an awful idea by that President Obama at the time. And constantly bombing Syria like it was 9/11 every fucking day over there. Probably a bad idea. George W. Bush was just 8 years a bad idea. What a piece of shit he was, where, you're just like, hey, man, why did Building 7 just go down? Like, what happened there? There were more questions than answers, about 9/11 and what we're doing in certain areas. And we were never told the truth about anything. And then, you had the whole Clinton thing with the Linda Tripp saying that he sexually assaulted her, and Hillary Clinton trying to
illicit
get people
love affairs.
Yeah. I mean, there were some, and then you have the overreach of CPS Act, Child Protective Services, the overreach of that act happening around 1996. Whenever Newt Gingrich, Speaker of the House Republican, is smiling over your shoulder, you really know that something scummy is about to go down, and it did anyways. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't name one significant thing that happened besides no tax on tips. That was an impactful thing for people that are in the tipping industry. Now you don't have to have unemployment say, wait a second, there's no way you made this much. And then the IRS saying, wait a second, there's no way you made this little. Like, guys, tell me how much the fuck I made then, because we're not in a perfect taxable system altogether here, Mark, when it comes to tipping. So then they just said, you know what? We're not going to tax it for the next 3 years, which is, sustainable, which is a good idea in my opinion. But the, we don't pick political ground around here, man. We know for a fact that corporations are scumbags, and if the government tells you that they're going to police corporations, they are owned by corporations here, because those are the ones giving the money to the politicians. So whenever the government says, "Don't worry, we'll fix these corporations," then they make some law that only benefits corporations in the biggest way possible.
Everybody likes to get their slimy little hands dirty.
When they say that, oh, we're going to give more money to the poor people, man, oh man, I would say all that does is hurt the working poor, because it inflates certain prices of everything that, the closer you bring certain basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, the closer you bring that to the printing press near the Treasury Department, the more money corporations know that they can just raise the prices up just because. And the only people that are actually held accountable and responsible for what they have to buy at a grocery store are the people that were deemed too rich to have food stamps, but too poor to actually own a house, sort of thing. And that kind of gets lost in the mix. So right now, I don't know. I don't think we've ever had it in my lifetime. I know Ronald Reagan was a hell of a talker, but more of an actor than anything. And then George H.W. Bush, why ever he was in the same area of where JFK was shot, and then also deemed to be the head of the CIA under the Nixon administration. I mean, he had a very weird walk to the top, a real slow dog walk to the top. Where he's just like, I mean, I'm sure Iraq would have been perfectly fine if they were given a port of entry, but the whole split up over there, they were just like, all right, everybody gets a port of entry except you, Saddam. You get a fuck you. And then he's like, whoa. Can I just maybe get a sliver? Just one road. They're like, what did we say? We said fuck you.
One visa.
Just one. Just one little road. I like how Saddam
Street all over again.
I like how Saddam had all of his army wear the same mustache that he had. Did you notice that, Mark?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, uniforms, shirts tucked in.
Universal uniform.
Sir, where's your mustache? I don't wear a mustache. Well, then you don't work here. That's one thing. You could say a lot of things about Adolf Hitler, but he never told everybody that they got to wear the same mustache he has. Right?
That's true.
Charlie Chaplin just did it on his own.
Probably.
Damn Charlie Chaplin.
God damn. Always staying silent. Always staying silent.
Well, Mark, we're going to wrap up our show here. This is all the time that we have for us. If people were going to listen to your music, sir, how would they get in touch with you? How would they book shows? How would they enjoy the art of the Fismits?
Well, the art of the Fismits is on all streaming platforms. Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and if they need to get
except for your new EP, which is coming out.
Yeah.
Next week.
26
Okay.
June. Woo. And so the best is fismits.com. And then the links in the emails and social media and all that, all the links are there. So that's the easiest.
I mean, the hope and the dream is to go on tour, right?
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to take it beyond.
You seem very blasé about it. You're like, if it happens, that'd be great.
I've had my dream shattered more than a couple of times.
No.
Just keep rolling. You just keep going, and you roll with the punches. You got a dream, but you've also got to be realistic.
True.
End up,
It's hard doing music nowadays. There's a lot of people who are like, "Well, would you do it if I did not pay you?
Oh, yeah.
Can you do it for Stage time?
Exposure.
Exposure! Oh, that's the word I was looking for, Kevin.
We had a guy here. He's 65 years old, full of optimism. Johnny Diamond. I was bartending at the time, and I said, "Hey, it's gonna be a good show." And he says to me, "This is just the start. This is just the start. We're gonna go
Just
from
the start of your dream.
We're gonna go from here in West Wyoming, and then we're gonna do 3 VFWs in Shenandoah, and then we're gonna go to Nanticoke, and then we're gonna go all the way down to Mahoopany."
To Makanakwa.
I'm like, "Mahoopany?" He's like, "Yep, Mahoopany. There's 2 VFWs down there and an American Legion. My God, we're gonna take the world on." I'm like, "Just with VFWs and American Legions?" He's like, No. We're gonna do some bars here and there. They're gonna seat 50.
We're gonna hit all the Native American breeding grounds."
He's like, "We're gonna sell out to 50 to 60, maybe 70 people if the fire station doesn't bust our balls about it." Johnny Diamond was, and still is, forever the most optimistic person I've ever met. So what about MTV? He's like, "Nobody's watching music videos anymore. People want to go to a live show at an American Legion. They want to go to their clubs, and they want to hear me sing all the hits, from the Beatles to Johnny Cash to the
Elvis
Beatles
Presley
to Johnny Cash to the Beatles and Johnny Cash." And I'm like, "My God, you don't have much of a fucking,
Diverse collection there.
Yeah. He would sometimes he would sing Johnny Cash in a British accent. That would fuck everybody up, They were just amazed, but
Yeah, instead of Sweet Caroline, he would say Sweet Clementine.
No, he would say he would sing "Artificially Sweet Caroline." Ba ba ba. Doctor says my sugar's high. So high. Ba ba da da da. Sounds like a fucking shitty Ozempic commercial. They're like, we're just gonna go with the jazz music in the background while we talk about side effects.
Yeah, let me fill your body with poison so you can't eat.
Yeah. Anybody want to look like Ariana Grande meets the Carpenters?
Yay! Ariana Grande meets Gargamel.
They look like everybody from the movie Thinner. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right, Sparky, where can you find us if you were looking for us?
Well, first of all, if you want to send your hate mail to Kevin, please send it to Tony Caswell's basement, P.O. Box 1313.
Yay! .com. Today's show is brought to you by Dumpster Fire Studios. That's right, if you wanted to rent a room from me for podcasting needs, of course, I'm your man.
Anyway, but besides that, you can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeart,
There you
Spotify,
go, Sparky. There you go.
Breaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoReo, Facebook Live Video, Google, YouTube, and anywhere else there's major streaming going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on our show, our humble abode, of course, to talk about some music and South African life and culture. We appreciate you taking the time out. Guys, check us every Monday night, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neri here.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Les Sparky.
Les Sparky. Guys, we'll catch you soon. Have a great night. Bye.